In a world where space and time are intertwined, one man dared to challenge the status quo. His name? Dayton Miller. His weapon of choice, a flute. But not just any flute. This instrument held the power to unleash the ether, a pervasive medium once thought to fill the universe. Miller, a physicist by trade, a musician at heart, discovered a harmonic resonance within the ether. He found that his flute, when played with precision, could manipulate this elusive medium. His melodies, a symphony of science, had the potential to shift the very fabric of reality. However, a sinister force lurked in the shadows. The Einsteinian demons. These creatures thrived in the distortion of space-time, causing chaos and disruption. The world needed a hero, and Miller was ready to answer the call.
Hola, lads and ladettes. Welcome to Aether Cosmology Community Twitter event for Friday. We're going to join the lads here and see what's up.
Because it doesn't appear. You don't see it. There's no star to look at.
Everything is apparent, right? Go with the ether, guys. Everything
Oh
is
my
apparent.
God.
This guy.
Like I said, Sydney, all you have to do is use your refraction, use your curvature drop
It's already factored in, Ken, right?
on the face of the globe.
Yeah, but look, this idiot doesn't even know that refraction happens tonight.
Nobody's. The whole thing is about eliminating measurement and accounting for refraction.
Yeah, you're saving
was
this
the
here
whole
to really
point.
do this here, right, Ken?
That's the point of the experiment.
No, I was listening in. Ken was exactly on point and exactly correct about every part of it, and you're an idiot. I have no patience for you. If Alan wants to talk to you, have at it,
So
bro.
why are you talking to me?
Shh. What's up,
wait,
lads and ladettes? I see
What's
my
up,
boy
Alan? What up? What's up,
Pizio
Sting?
over
What's up,
there.
Pete?
See the boys.
What up,
See
guys?
Zave, Ken. Is that Brian? I'm not him anymore. Hold on. What happened to my boy?
Dude, we all had a crisis because we all forgot your new name, and I was like, "Where the hell is Brian's space?" Like, oh, I see this other dude with people talking that I know. All my friends are there, but I don't know who this guy is.
Dude, man, these guys, I don't know, man. They got some beef with this Brian guy.
That's unfortunate.
Fuck that guy, I guess is the point, right?
Fuck that guy. Hopefully this guy lasts a little bit longer. I heard he's cooler.
Are all your accounts parody accounts? Does that not protect you?
I don't know. This is the first time I've tried the parody account.
All right, I didn't know if that was a new. All right.
So everything I say is a joke, man. It's total spaceballs forever, and 6 million happened. I don't deny anything.
I think if the same 6 pissed off people find you, they're gonna delete you again. Sorry, go ahead, Piers.
Oh, it's all good. I was gonna kind of skip ahead of all this garbage in between that we don't need to waste time on and say the big conclusion that we found from the celestial theodolite was that celestial refraction formula or set of celestial refraction formulas, because there's actually a different one at every angle range, provides the exact result necessary to convert a flat baseline to a glob of 3959 mile radius. Amazing.
You mean it employs, say, the exact constant you would need specific to each latitude to best fit a curve to a flat baseline? That's crazy. Why would they do that? How would they even know all those numbers? Oh, wait.
And it's funny because we know that optical compression, like from zenith to horizon, does not have a strictly linear relationship. And so, as every single angle range has a different relationship, there's also a different celestial refraction formula at every one of those ranges. So every time that the optical compression factor changes based on angle, they throw out a new formula. And these formulas have been empirically derived. Alan's got like 6 or 7 books now in the collection about freaking celestial refraction and how they took all these measurements and derived it. It's literally just, they didn't have Excel back then, of course, but just imagine a million different people at a million different places and times record a million different stars and plot all their data, and you plug it into one massive giant Excel spreadsheet and plot the curve, and then you ask it to spit out the function for the curve at different segments. And that's what they did. And then they just used that in order to convert the flat plane trig into 39, 59 mile radius curve.
Yeah, which is kind of what we thought.
Amazing. Damn.
Well, thanks Jesse, right? Because when he made a spreadsheet to solve the celestial theodolite by strawmanning it hard and adding refraction back in at both ends, we were taking a closer look at his constants that he had to employ to do so, which is how we found latitude-dependent best fit curvature for a flat line. But that itself is curious, right? We're like, wait, how did they even know, like, uniformly at every position all over the Earth how to fit that flat right back into the curve? And it's like, oh, well, yeah, well, like what Pisa just said.
It was all wrapped up in the celestial refraction formula, dude. It's crazy.
So, Piezo, what you said the other day kind of struck me as like it's like a really important aspect of it. So, like for terrestrial refraction, you know, it's just temperature over pressure, right? Like that's a real thing. And then, whereas what they've done with the celestial refraction, right? They've taken the observation and they've basically fit in what they need it to be, and then they just call that the amount that it's refracted celestially.
Yeah. So to be more specific, terrestrial or Earth atmosphere refraction, right? Like what happens because of the atmosphere is just a ratio of temperature and pressure differences. It's got a physical mechanism. But the formula for celestial refraction does not have any variables in it other than like a distance or an x. There's like one x. And actually, if I go look at it, I think that number, I can find it while we talk. But it's just got one variable, and that variable is not temperature, it's not pressure, it's nothing like that. And then every other number is like a weird arbitrary number of like multiple decimal points to be like 3.917 and 8.624 and all these numbers all over the place. It's like, what are all these arbitrary coefficients, right? Like, where did all this come from? And that's what I was saying. As it turns out, oh yeah, it's degrees. So it's, check this. It is 34.133 plus 4.197 times angle plus 0.00428 times angle squared over 1 plus 0.505 times angle plus 0.0845 times angle squared. All those numbers are so arbitrary. And the reason they're arbitrary is those are empirically derived numbers from actual observation tables. And so when you ask the question, they just made it what they need to be. More specifically, they found out what the form fit was for the curve that all these objects traced at different angles. And then they plugged in to their angle prediction the flat baseline distance. And then they figured out what they needed to do in order to convert that into a curve. So it's literally been engineered. Celestial refraction, the formula that they give us to correct for refraction, quote unquote. What are we correcting for? Because didn't we already correct for atmosphere? Right? We're correcting for the deviation topologically from a plane trig flat surface to an arc curved baseline.
Mathematically. Almost through interpolation, like at every specific point, they had form fit. So now they know the actual constant they need to apply, which is where they get them constants that we saw popping out in the formula when he tried to apply it at both ends. It's a straw man the hell out of it.
And it's dumb because if you think about it like this, right? Think about this. The freaking fact that there's so many different formulas at every different angle range. Well, dude, if we're crossing through the whole atmosphere every time that we do celestial refraction, every single time we do it, we cross through the whole atmosphere. Like, there shouldn't be such giant sweeping deviations in these corrections. Because it doesn't matter, dude, it doesn't matter if I go straight up above my head or if I go straight out at the horizon. Either way, I can treat it as a vertical line from the ground straight up through the entire atmosphere, approximately.
So
So I'd be cutting the same slice. I'd be cutting the same slice of atmosphere out either way, but they're completely different corrections.
So would that have anything to do with why astronomers wanted the refraction to be able to be turned off in stellarium?
If you turn refraction off in stellarium, it's supposed to give you like the nautical almanac position, which is funny because if you think about it, back when they were plotting all this stuff to create the nautical almanac, all their observations were subject to refraction back then anyway, and they didn't have the celestial refraction formula built back then, so they didn't know how to correct for it yet. And yet somehow they created this table of true star positions back then, and we still use it. It's been updated since then, but it hasn't actually really changed much. It's just they've added more stars and stuff.
So they
Pretty
were
interesting.
able to plot the stars without knowing refraction?
Definitely not celestial refraction. They maybe would have had terrestrial down. I'm not sure when terrestrial refraction formulas were built. I'd have to look that up. I don't know the year, but they didn't have the celestial one.
Boy, good old Gauss came out, I think. Whatever. They built it after that.
But yeah,
You say it's latitude dependent?
Well, I don't think it's latitude dependent because the shell of stars at your local viewer position moves uniformly. But the important thing to note is that refraction is real. We don't deny refraction. Our position would just be that the only real refraction is terrestrial refraction, because celestial refraction isn't actually refraction at all. They're just calling it that, and really it's a custom-built formula to correct for the deviation from flat to globular baseline.
Is there not a different constant that needs to be added at every different latitude to make the curvature best fit the plane?
Oh, I don't know. I just know about the different a formula for every different angle range. I don't know if there's a different formula for different latitudes. I'm not that well versed on the history of it yet.
Doesn't
I wouldn't.
latitude change with angle range?
I think I think you can use the formulas like anywhere, but I could be wrong. I would have to. That'd be an Alan once he reads all 7 of those books question.
So basically, it's based on the angle that the star is to you, then, right?
Depending on how far above the horizon it is, will depend on which celestial refraction formula correction formula you use.
Yeah, the one that they were talking about, the one that Jesse tried to employ specifically, they call it for navigation for 0 to 15 degrees above the horizon, specifically for that super low angle, I think.
Yeah. Because once you get really low to the horizon, it starts to compress like crazy. So they have to have like a much stronger correction at that point than they do at other points in the sky.
And above that, they use the Bennett, I think, whatever that we were using, the generally applicable, formula that's for almost every other circumstance. So below, they use this special one, which has these weird constants, which they know at every angle of incidence to have the appropriate constant to balance the curve. Craziness, man.
Right. I mean, if you take a million different measurements at, you got to from 90 degrees to 0 degrees, and you take it at 89.99, 98, 97, 96, and so on and so forth, and you got 90,000 measurements or whatever. I mean, or 9,000 measurements or whatever, however many they've got a ton. and you just integrate that function and turn it into a big form fit curve, then you can take any slice of that curve you want and figure out what the equation is for that slice. And that's what they did, and that's where it comes from.
Which is what that formula does specifically. Yeah. Great.
Right. Yep. But it's cool. It's actually cool because what's funny is we found out that, so far, now we haven't dug into it deeply. I will confess I've been busy with life. We still got to do more looking into it. But minus one small curiosity, which we can maybe point out. Jesse did put his little GeoGebra simulator, and he did use the correction formulas for celestial and terrestrial refraction and combined them together, adjusted the flat baseline distance into a curved baseline, but then used the flat baseline distance in the celestial refraction stuff. Or
Like a triple straw man or whatever.
He used the FE angle. He used the FE angle in the celestial refraction correction instead of the glob angle. But when he used the FE angle, all the observations seemed to match what Dr. Mike got.
Yeah, he called it the Heffron angle, but he got celestial refraction at both sides coming and going.
Right.
Look at my Heffron angle. Look how I form fit it to match a curve.
Yeah, so he had a formula to convert the FE angle into a glob angle, basically by subtracting the drop over distance and turning it into a different angle. But then when he went to do the celestial refraction correction, he didn't use the glob angle. He used the FE angle, and if you change it to the glob angle, there is a difference between the angle it predicts. Guess which angle matched Heffron's observations? Even with celestial refraction. Yeah, when you got to plug the FE angle into the celestial refraction formula to get all that stuff to work. And it's cool because Jesse built the simulator. Dude, Jesse built the simulator and it actually works for the ones that we checked. I mean, we checked like 2 or 3 of them.
So we'll copy it, steal it, and make it better, or whatever. Or is that not on the table anymore?
Oh, dude, is that Shane's celestial theodolite simulator?
Thanks, Jesse. That's Shane's Model 2 was gonna be nice.
Shane, did you already save your own copy of it and rename it?
Yep, I might have done that. Also, where's the link? Let's do it again.
What are you trying to say? That Jesse's secretly working for us?
Oh, in his absolute determination to prove us wrong, he helped us a great deal. That's what I'm saying.
He seemed to be doing that a lot with Taylor too.
Yeah. And like honestly, yeah, she's definitely one of the beasts. she's a rock. Dude, when she's hungering for a debate, it's scary to be around her. She's like, "Come at me, bro." And we're like, "No, we don't want to."
Dude, she'll start debating me, and I'm not even like, Taylor, calm down.
We're like, "Hey, bro."
Dude, she gets fired up. She was mad that we wouldn't talk about flat Earth the other night. She's like, "I don't want to play the stupid game."
Bulldog.
But that's why we love her. Fired up. Did we win that night? I think we won. Didn't we win?
We did.
You had a fantastic night.
Yeah, you were winning from the get-go, man.
That was a pretty fun game.
Where's Xavier and D3 and Galatrax and Beasticles and
Dude,
right there.
Speaking of
Xave
and Galley, the 2 lads been putting in some work. I have a debate coming up on Saturday with Astronomy Live, so shout out to him. It's going to be hosted on the Red's Rhetoric channel. It'll also be streamed on my channel, so you guys can watch it here or on his channel. But shout out to the boys. It's going to be an awesome debate on Aries measurements and the interpretation therein. And I think we may even get into a little Aether. It's going to be awesome.
Hey, Dr. Galatrax, I accidentally didn't. I sent you an invite. Sorry, Alan.
No, you're fine. It's Professor Dr. Galatrax.
Professor Dr. Galatrax. Man, I can't even say that. Professor Dr. Galatrax. There you go.
Professor Dr. Galatrax.
It'll be shortened to Galley soon enough. Go by You know how like kids flip their hat backwards at a certain
We'll
age?
get it right back to Doc G.
Yeah, I'll get it all down to Doc G eventually. But I cannot confirm nor deny any involvement in the upcoming debate on Saturday.
There may or may not be a group or whatever, but that's going to be fun. I want to watch that, but not on his channel. I'm glad I could watch it on Space Audits instead.
Yeah, I just learned that my brother's wedding is not what I thought it was. It's on Sunday, actually. I thought it was the 22nd. Tomorrow's going to be a lot of like getting ready for that. Yeah.
And when is this debate again?
Oh, it'll be this Saturday at 8 p.m.
Tomorrow.
Eastern. Yeah, tomorrow.
That's tomorrow night, gang.
Mhm.
He means tomorrow. It's fine.
Yep. If you guys want to, there'll be a watch party on the Aether Cause Discord. So if you guys want to join the Discord, hang out with the lads, we'll be there on voice chat.
I'll be there.
Sounds like the place to be.
Man, I hope it's better than that Mattoon debate, man. That was just a train wreck. Those guys are the worst.
I don't know. Red's rhetoric can be kind of a cunt, but we'll see.
Yeah. He is. Him and his stupid little I forget what is that, a level that he squeezed together and the table and said, here's curvature?
Oh, I have no idea. I've never seen anything he's ever done, but I did go into a stream one time.
You can't turn on a dime.
That's not true, Shane. You swooped up his parallax radius Earth measurement. Remember that one with the angular size formula? Yeah, that he gifted to you.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. You actually, so shout out to the homie, right?
Yeah. Dude, angular size formula. He was so helpful and confident trying to be condescending with it. That's what they do when they give you a loaded weapon, right? Like, thanks, Walter, or whatever.
But anyway, I'm sure he will be a gracious host, and it'll be a fun debate. I'm looking forward to it.
What's the topic?
Aries zenith measurements and the interpretation. So is heliocentrism correct? Is it the mutually exclusive evidence we've all been looking for?
Nice.
Is it proof of Earth's motion that we've all been told it could be?
Like, guys, if I have a measurement in air and then I fill the same thing with water, it should change, right? They were like, well, it didn't. Yeah, it should change. Did it change? No. Well, you know what? That's just proof that we're moving.
That's just proof we're moving.
Well, you know why it didn't change? Well, we would actually never notice it would change because of stuff. Oh, also, Aether doesn't move, so that invalidates our prediction, and therefore we're still moving. We just didn't measure it when we thought we should. Come back to that later. And then they were like, actually, it's rotating. That's why you can't measure it. That was the next one.
I'm almost, I don't know, man. I don't know how to say this, man, but if this isn't intelligent, it's going to be a really short trip, Zidney. What do you want? What's your hand up for? What you got?
Yeah, I just had a quick question for Alan. So I understand you guys just been on modern day debates and you're going on Joe Rogan and things are rolling, but when are you going to debate O'Dan on the Battle of the Beams?
Whenever he messages me to set that up.
Okay, cool.
Who knows who that is? Who cares?
I don't
know.
It's the guy from the drunk podcast thing. Remember the Battle of the Beams, quote unquote?
I knew I didn't care. That was disgusting and terrible. Yeah, I remember.
Nah, I mean, he had some. I think if he was sober in a debate forum, he would be a pleasant debate partner. His video wasn't, or like his Prezi and stuff wasn't that bad.
A bit on the deprecating side.
Yeah, obviously didn't explain anything, but he's got cool technical details and was able to.
Yeah, but he didn't make an argument or refute anything. He just pointed out technicalities that didn't invalidate the argument. It was like, behold, I'm done. Congratulations, me.
He did make an argument.
Can you steal man that argument? Because I took notes on every aspect of that presentation. So what argument do you think he made?
Yeah, are you the guy who watched the debate so the others two didn't have to?
No, nobody
Oh,
can
I mean,
articulate the
actually,
argument.
wait, the guy
the
that
thing.
you're
Go
guy
ahead.
that you're supporting is the one who claims to watch the Battle of the Beams presentation so others don't have to. And he
Do you
demonstrated that
always
he didn't watch those presentations. So I don't know
do you
why
always
you're catching
ad
first.
hom at the top of a discussion?
That was a jab, right? That was a funny jab.
My brother, the
No,
guy
that
that
was,
you're backing right now claimed that he watched all 7, in my quote, of the Battle of Beams presentations and then demonstrated that he didn't watch them. So why are you casting an aspersion as if I'm the guy who watches debates so others don't have to, when your guy is the one who specifically says, I watched all 7 so you guys don't have to? That's your guy.
Yeah. Do you want me to answer that? Because I actually helped Dan with the presentation and watched many of the debates, and so we were pooling resources to try and gather the whole thing. So, like, one of the arguments you said was that like Dan was very keen on Derby not being bombed the shit out of for years now. But then you guys said that we dropped that one like long time ago. But like less than a month ago, I was sitting there with TM, and he was insisting that Derby was being bombed the shit out of
Yeah,
for years,
real
right?
quick, Sydney. Is TM me? I think you're confused.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Dave McKeegan pointed that out in his video like 7 months ago, and I was like, oh yeah, that we were incorrect about that. That's fine. It was used at
Yeah.
multiple other places. It's like it's not a.
And I believe this has
It's
been
great.
brought up before and addressed.
So again, you said that homie made an argument. There was an argument to be made in said
but he can't
video,
remember it, he said.
and then you were like talking about something TM said. So
Okay. Let's get to that.
yeah, let's get to the real argument or whatever Gally was talking about. Go ahead.
Yeah, so my question to you was, can you articulate the specific point he made that refutes the Battle of Beams presentations that he allegedly watched?
Yeah. So we have German data, so we don't really need to talk about the English data. We have the actual German data, and then measured how high you had to be to receive certain signals, right? That was the graph he showed, right?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yes.
Yeah. So he showed a graph of how high you had to be with certain airplanes to receive certain signals, and then he made the argument like, why is this relevant on flat earth, right? Why can you not just receive the signal? Why do you have to be a certain altitude a certain distance away to receive the signal? That was his whole argument.
Could you repeat the last part? You said he made an argument, why is this relevant on the flat earth? And blank, what was it? What did you say, next part?
I think he's saying you got to be to a certain height, and then that's when you be able to like receive the signals, right, Sydney? So it's like a curve thing.
Yes, so it's like an arch, right? The further away you get, the higher you have to be to receive the signal. And this is not like up for debate because this is the actual German data. Like he's showing a graph showing you have to be this distance away to receive the signal at this altitude.
All right, so just see if I can steal that. You said we have the German data that measures how high you have to be to receive the signals. He showed a graph of how high you have to be to receive certain signals. And he made an argument, why is this relevant on the flat earth? The further away you get, the higher you have to be to receive the signal.
Yes, and then he said, this kind of looks like curvature, right?
Okay. And how exactly is that a refutation of any of the Aether Cosmology Battle of Beams presentation?
Kind of looks like curvature.
I'm going to repeat back exactly what you said verbatim, word for word.
Oh, that was my bad, gal tracks. I was laughing at Sydney. My fault. Got a little sloppy with the emojis.
All right, unmute, lads. There was a accidental muting.
got a rookie co-host here. Doesn't know how to spam emojis yet.
The dude's all done.
Did I cut out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
my co-host here is over here muting the room.
We lost you.
Shane, that's insane. Stop pressing that so fast. I'm calling the cops.
We
Okay,
lost
so
you at.
our
I'm going to repeat what you said.
friend Sydney made this claim that this refutes the Aether Cosmology Battle of the Beams presentations. We have the German data that measures how high you have to be to receive the signals. He showed a graph of how high you have to be to receive certain signals. And he made an argument, why is this relevant on the flat Earth? The further away you get, the higher you have to be to receive the signal. And this kind of looks like curvature. How in any way does that refute any of the Aether Cosmology Battle of the Beams presentations?
I don't know how it was coherent, honestly.
It's not.
Wait, I know the chart you're talking about. So there's a chart that shows like this.
I'll pull it up
Curve
for
going
you
up.
while we're talking, or while you're talking about it. Go ahead.
Yeah. But what we also found is that chart wasn't even accurate because number one, they bomb targets further than what that chart shows, and number two, we have a published paper from the Telefunken Corp, which was the organization that built the towers on behalf of the German military. And they were doing test flights up to 1,000 kilometers away, picking signals up at like 15,000 feet. So.
Yeah. Okay. So your actual argument. Can I address that?
Sure.
So you said they bombed targets very far away, further away than the chart, right?
Further away than the chart would suggest they should be allowed to do at that altitude, because we know the maximum altitude of the bomber is based on the technology available at the time.
Yeah. So do you understand that all the bombers had a navigator on board?
You know that the way that they did this was they were flying at night, blind, with no lights and no markers to go off of above cloud cover, right?
Ding, 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 ding.
This is the part you don't get, right? Kinnickevine is an initial guidance, right? You can use that for direction, right?
You
So
know
as long,
that there's two beams. The second beam tells you when to drop the bombs, right?
yeah, but you don't need to use that to drop the bombs. You can drop your own bombs, right?
No. It's the intersection of the two beams that tells you when to drop the bombs, or else you'd be dropping it at any point on that line. That's retarded.
And not only that, Galley, but even just the signal beam that you fly through, just to get like the correct orientation, the correct heading, you fly in that the whole time. You have a signal all the way there, and it's a modulated signal of a very specific width. That if you go a little too far to the left, it'll start beeping. If you go a little too far to the right, it'll start beeping. That signal is not a signal that's wrapping around the Earth. They measured the British military when they were trying to counteract the signals, counteract the tech, were searching for the signals. They found the signals, like, what was it, 280 miles away from the tower, and it was only 400 to 500 yards wide. So if you were saying that it was like diffracting around the Earth, right, and you try to invoke diffraction, the signal would be several miles wide at that point. It wouldn't even be useful.
Yes, I wasn't. I'm going to leave that to Dan because he's the expert. But I just wanted to point out that actually the Allies.
Didn't Dan cover that in his Prezi though?
Yes.
Did he refute? Like, didn't he? Shouldn't that? When Galley asked about the refutation, that would be it. And then like, so like, why are you hiding the refutation, bro? Because we watched the Prezi too. It ain't in there. Do you happen to know it off the top of the dome ski or what?
Okay, so I was trying to actually answer that, and are you starting a new thing? But he did talk about refraction in there, and he did have a lot of math in there. And then you said there was no math, right?
Bro, he didn't show a single example of any gradients or anything like that. We literally showed the Walter Bislin refraction calculator at different altitudes or elevations, putting the observer even on Mount Everest, and it still doesn't work without an insane gradient that's never been measured. That guy just said gradient, showed formula, plugged in no figure, as our boy from Quality Assurance, Amanda Stone, likes to say. Everyone's got their favorite mainstream formula, but when no one's plugging in any figures. So like, yeah, he mentioned some math. There was some, if you take a sniff, you can smell some math. There's the essence of math in the air, but there ain't no, he didn't show any math.
Yeah, he made specific claims like it's almost directly line of sight, and there are no absolutes when it comes to radar, and the Lorentz system was low powered, small antennas, and things like that. They were going to need much larger antennas and a lot larger, and then just more Aether cosplay ad homs. I mean, he misquotes Alan several times. I'm just asking you, you're the one who claimed that this man refuted the Aether Cosmology Battle of the Beams presentation. Are you going to forfeit that claim, or are you going to back up that claim? How did
I would like to just finish what I was talking about.
I'm almost there.
You're changing topic.
Hang on, brother. I'm almost there. How did that man refute the Aether Cosmology Battle of the Beams presentation that he said he watched?
Yeah. So if I can just finish my thought, we can get there in a second.
Don't do that. No, answer the question. Just answer the question. Don't do the little, you're not letting me finish. Just answer the question.
Yeah, okay. So first of all, he debunked the whole thing about radar, right? Because it's not radar, right?
Okay, so the man.
So that's 1-0, right?
Hang on.
Yeah,
You said,
yeah.
you
You just
asked me
got
a question,
fucked, bro.
Retard, fucktard. You asked me a question. You said radar, right? Are you not offering the microphone? He debunked that,
right? He debunked.
Fucktard. So what you're saying is we misused the word radar. Does that debunk the whole presentation?
He debunked multiple things, in there, right?
He debunked
including radar.
Multiple things. Look, you're just speaking in vague platitudes. You said he refuted the Battle of Beams presentation, and so far your whole evidence is you guys got a word wrong.
I'm getting there, right? This is just the initial part.
All right, then actually get there.
Yeah, all you said was you guys misused the word radar.
Can I get there, dude?
Things don't send beams back; they just receive beams.
Zidney,
you can stop wasting our
you
time
laid the
now.
bones out there, Zidney. Put some fucking meat on it, or we're gonna drop you.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to give you a chance to
Enough
make your
of the
point,
I'm
trolling. I think you're just trolling.
I'm getting there. You ain't getting there.
I can't even get a word in.
You haven't got there yet, Zidney.
Nobody cares.
All right, tell us, Sydney. Tell us. Go ahead, bro. Give us the word that refutes. Address the refute part.
Yeah. So Alan kept saying that it was line of sight, and he pointed out that it's not line of sight. It's more or less line of sight. Would that be a refutation?
No, because your guy said it's almost directly line of sight. So no, your guy agrees with that.
So did he say there is refraction in there?
Sir, you just asked a question. You said Alan said it was almost line of sight. Your guy said it was almost directly line of sight.
Alan said it is line of sight, right?
So how does this just tell us, instead of asking us questions, give us the refutation?
So the real question is, can these signals be bent around the curve? That's the real question, right? And he gave you a lot of explanations why we would be able to see and receive these signals much further away than you think you can.
Can you give us any of those explanations? Because you keep just referring to this guy.
Well, hold on a second. The more important part, right, is we wanted the figures plugged into the associated formula with the explanation like we did. Like, you know how my little children diagram, what was it? Mom's refrigerator artwork that we did, but like we still had the figures plugged in with ours, right? He said a bunch of things, showed no figures. So this gradient that you're invoking only works if you don't plug in the figures.
You just said he showed no figures, but he did show German figures, right?
No.
Dude, he shows a chart that we found and posted on the database for everybody else to see.
No, dude, hold on a
acted
second.
like that
Yo,
was
this is
reputation.
retarded, bro. You don't even have an argument. Just get this dude out of here.
Now you're being dishonest, right?
He's literally like,
My bad. My bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You just got
it's
owned, bro.
fucking. You haven't.
You got fucked
No.
up.
Where is the argument, bro?
You
He
don't have
had German data.
He told you
The
why that
cho-
dude didn't
dude.
have anything. He said he watched most of the videos and helped the
We're
dude
not.
out.
Hold on a second, Ken. We're not even talking about the German thing at the moment, which we already covered
Yes,
at the beginning.
yeah, that's the German data.
Buddy, I'm asking, you said refraction as a mechanism. I'm asking for the formula that was plugged in, the numbers, the figures for that, right? You invoked a specific mechanism. That was the whole point, that we were all so excited for that to be presented. And your big refutation was, look at this curve that isn't applicable because it was used at distances that exceeded it too. And we have the company that made it and their measurements that exceed it. So like, cool. And then you're just like, yeah, you don't have anything. Nothing. Again.
I do.
Yo, I can't anymore.
All you have is just words. All you have is just words saying that we have data, and that's it. That doesn't prove anything.
Pathetic, dude.
You're just giving us vague platitudes, and what you're saying is not true. I can actually steel man your guys' point better than he can. If you guys lock him down, I can explain better what he's trying
He's
to
dropped
say.
off the stage. Someone dropped him.
Yeah, I dropped him.
So this guy said he would not invoke diffraction and refraction, and then that's the only refutation that he ever does, is he spends from 49 minutes and 7 seconds to 1 hour and 45 seconds in the Drunk Debunk podcast using refraction and diffraction arguments with a ton of ad homs. And then he invokes that out of the beams, the only way it would work if it's not a flat Earth is if the Earth was 5 times the radius of the Earth. If it's not flat, let's say the Earth is just 5 times larger. Well, none of the heliocentric or geocentric global Earth model works if it's 5 times larger. And he goes, oh, that doesn't imply flat, does it? Basically, it would make complete sense if the Earth was just larger, so how do you know it's not still a globe? The other argument about us using radar wrong, he said that, let's see, here's one quick thing
real quick. Yeah, that's a fair point. It's a navigation beacon. It doesn't send a signal back, but like that doesn't refute any way that we've been arguing it or anything about it. So like, thank you for the correction. Much appreciated. But that's not like...
Yeah, the quote is, it's not a radar. It has nothing to do with radar. Radar implies there's a reflected signal and a receiver. I can say, hey, that's how far it is. Nicobine had no receive capability. It was transmit only specifically. Great. That doesn't refute the presentation nor the proof. There's a proof in this thing. There's curvature measurements, right? And then here's the thing that your guy does. He conflates these two words, arguments and measurements, right? So he says that our arguments are our measurements. No, the math and the arguments are part, and the measurements are parts of the arguments. They're not the same thing. So if he conflates the two, and then he debunks the so-called measurements, that wouldn't even mean he debunks the arguments, right? So he says, the measurements are the arguments. I'm going to debunk the measurements. Even if that were true, it's not. It's conflation. He's not debunking the arguments. He's just refuting the measurements. If you don't agree to the premise, if it's a sound conclusion, you're not refuting anything. You're just saying, I don't agree with how you got there. So anyway, I have like 2 hours of notes on this presentation. It's retarded. If anyone wants to go over it with me, happy to go over it with you guys, but it's really just a waste of time. And you have a Mick cameo at 2 hours 30.
Nice. Very nice, Galley. Just to be clear, he just kept saying, well, he showed how you could receive a signal. Just invoking, like you said, like saying the word refraction and saying that there's a formula to calculate it and saying, therefore, signal received. Not only is that stupid, but even if it was true just on a basis of you could get some kind of signal somewhere, we're not concerned. The whole point of using this as a proof is it's not like a radio station. It's not like trying to pick up like, a Marconi broadcast across the Atlantic and hear your local radio AM FM station over a mountain or something. There's a specific geometric relationship that has to be continuously maintained across the entire distance from tower to bombing target. And if that relationship changes, then the system breaks down and doesn't work. So all the mechanisms that they have to try to use to explain away the presentation are all mechanisms which would change that geometric relationship and render the system unusable. That's our position. That's the reason that there's no mechanism you guys have that can explain it, is because any mechanism you would go to propose would render the system ineffective. And we know it was effective. Therefore, your proposed mechanisms aren't actual explanations.
Well, Piezo, Netherlands is below flooded plains and everything else. There's good ground connectivity. That helps propagate ground wave propagation.
That's an excellent quote.
Yeah, no, none of any of that. No skywave propagation, ground wave propagation, refraction, and diffraction. None of those work for the system. All of those change the geometry of the system.
And that's why none of those lads will plug in any numbers to the formula they assert. That explains
They will never
it.
plug in numbers. We will never, ever, mark my words, there will never be a single glober in the world, in this space, in any other space, on any channel, any YouTuber, any TikToker, any person anywhere. There will never, ever, ever be any person who will propose specific math and show the numbers to demonstrate a globular explanation for battle of the beams. It will never happen, and it doesn't exist.
I love it when Alan quotes me.
Oh, one more thing. That whole like radar thing, your boy said it's not a radar, it's nothing to do with radar, etc. And then he goes on to say, I guess this would count as poisoning the well. So the thing that you're using, your big like refutation, your boy considers poisoning the well. How do you feel about that, Sydney?
He doesn't care at all.
Dude, it's all good. Moral of the story: we learned like there's no unrefuted again. Only through straw manning and just aggressively misunderstanding it.
Well, we've been waiting since last August to get these 2 videos that were apparently going to come out and try to explain. And it's been, what, like 9 months? We've had like a globe pregnancy come to full term and still no videos released?
Yeah, we got this limp-wristed drunk guy just strawmanning the entire presentation.
Imagine,
admittedly, he didn't watch, by the way.
Imagine if you could refute something by just aggressively asserting the opposite and doing nothing else. Like, nah, you're wrong. Nah, nope. Nah, nope.
Imagine if tautologies were proofs. A world where nothing matters.
Do you guys know about the Kuka band Earth Gateway stations for Starlink?
Geo, my man, you're eating your mic. Come back off a little bit then.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Is that better?
Dude, your mic volume is like 4,000%.
A little
better. It's the gain, not necessarily the distance.
I have to make mine louder. Hold on, I don't feel so good.
He made us feel inadequate.
Yeah, no, I don't feel like I have a big enough mic now.
It's not about the size of the mic, it's about how you use it.
So, what's up there, Gio?
I'm so sorry. Do you guys know about is this better?
Yes, that's manageable. Thank you.
I'm a feet away of it, and I turn off my ceiling fan. So do you guys know about the Kuka band Earth Gateway stations from Starlink?
Never heard of it.
Put it in Google. Check it out. So there's about 30. I don't know how much there is in the U.S., but there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ground radars that Starlink uses, and he places it all around the U.S. And it's like forms of 8 satellites or 9 satellites because it uses like the north, south, east, west, southeast, southwest, northwest. Blah 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 to disperse the. I'm sorry for my dogs. they want to bark just fucking now. Give me a second.
It's all good.
His dog was
Anytime
barking so loud it agitated my dog. Sorry, go ahead.
Dude, I swear there was 70 sharks down there. I had to back off. I couldn't get it that time.
Sorry. So they disperse it all around the U.S. To somehow give your cell phone the pinpoint to where these quote-unquote orbiting satellites are located, and they're connected directly to the backbone of the internet. And that's how you're getting Starlink. So it's called CoolCap. Sorry, go ahead.
You're raping my ears, bro.
I'm gonna try to lower it. I'm sorry.
To be clear, there are definitely Starlink things that go across the sky that you can see. I'm not in any way, shape, or form gonna say that there's free falling satellites orbiting around the globe. I'm not gonna say that. But we would be willfully ignorant to say that there are not objects in the sky that go around in circles.
Has anybody seen the Starlink satellites though themselves, like with their own eyes?
Yeah.
Bro, you can see videos all over YouTube with cell phone cameras recording them. They go in trains. They have like laser beams they shoot between each other, and you
Seen
can
the
see them
trains.
communicating with the lasers.
Yeah, but I'm saying like with their own eyes. Like, has anybody
Seen
seen
it with my
Yes, bro.
own oculars. A train of them.
Yeah, I've seen a string go by.
So what are they? Because I've seen them. I used to live in the desert. I saw
Fuck
them.
knows,
and I
man.
know what they.
They're flying objects. Zealous, do you think the Earth's a globe or you think it's flat?
No, I'm not retarded. Thanks for asking me though.
So, do you think it's a globe? Is that how you're going to answer that question or what?
No, I'm saying I'm not retarded. I know it's flat.
Okay, I gotcha. I never know how that one goes, so I appreciate you for answering it quick.
No, but I'm curious about the Starlink thing because I saw them with my own eyes. I'm still trying to figure out, like, are they just helium balloons, like something like that? Like,
I doubt that the helium balloons could move that fast, would be my first thought on that.
yeah, I mean, I remember seeing them with my own eyes, and it was crazy. Like, I was retarded at that time, so I didn't really like know any different. I thought it was like aliens, but yeah. And then I did research, and I was like, what the hell? Like, it can't be true.
Well, I mean, I don't know what research you did to lead you to that conclusion, but just because the Earth's flat, I don't think that means there can't be things flying up there. I don't know.
They could just be solar powered drones, man. You know,
Yeah, we talked
towing a
about
string.
Stone. Yeah, Stone. We talked about this the other day actually. So I was thinking about we did some trig, bro. Actually, this week.
Little Triggy? We got Triggy with it.
Yeah, with the ISS. And so we were using the ISS tracker, right? And we said if we presume a flat baseline, how high is the ISS? Does that make the ISS? Because they say it's like 250 miles, right? Well, we found that it would make it like 20-something miles high if we use a flat baseline using trig. Because you can use the ISS tracker app and you can see where it will appear on one horizon and exit at the other horizon and what angle it appears at, and then it'll show you even like the map and the line it traces on the map. So you can calculate the actual ground distance and the angle. And you can use trig and you could say, okay, tangent angle equals opposite over adjacent. Adjacent is the ground distance and angle is the angle it gives you. What does that make the height? Super simple trig function. You just build a triangle to the ISS on a flat plane. And what's interesting about that, right, is if the ISS is like 20-something miles high, right, we already know that NASA has like these super high-tech balloon anchoring projects where they have balloons at like 170, 180,000 feet, which is like, I don't know, 30-something miles. Yeah, it's like 30-something miles. So they have the technology to do that. If the ISS, I'm just throwing this out there, if the ISS was was made out of, one of those balloon materials. All the ballast sections were just filled with helium, and the outside it's covered with solar panels, but it's just actually like the whole thing is pretty lightweight aluminum for the most part, and the entire core sections is or helium or even hydrogen. Hydrogen's even better at lift. Hydrogen filled ballasts. You could use ionic thrusters to accelerate it, and in an environment, 100 and something thousand, 150 plus thousand feet in the air, whatever the distance is, there's like a fraction of a percent of the atmosphere that there is here on the ground, and so your effective drag would be almost zero.
Yeah, precisely.
So you could just accelerate with an ionic thruster using the current you collected from the solar panels and accelerate to whatever speed you want, because it's no like there's like a 0.1% or less difference between that environment and the space environment, and they already claim they do it in space and there's no problem. So there wouldn't be any difference. It would be almost like a vacuum.
People
You're
forget
just
there's no such thing as a terminal velocity that high up. Totally.
Right. And you don't even need that much thrust either. We could use those, those ionic thrusters that aren't super crazy strong, but don't require much current. Like it's like a low amount of thrust for a low amount of current. All you need to do is accelerate. You keep accelerating, you keep getting faster. It doesn't matter, how long it takes. Once you get up to that speed, you're up to that speed.
Yeah, well, I have a theory about all that.
What's up, Daniel? Just real quick, you think the Earth's flat? You on Team Globe?
I'm a flat earther. Went through.
You're coming in real low for me.
Yeah, you better turn up your mic there, man.
All right. Yeah,
And get more quiet.
Yeah, way.
How about now?
Yeah, better now.
Oh, there you go.
Fucking way better. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm flat team, absolutely. And my theory is that if we have this electrostatic field gradient, I did the calculations on how much charge you would need just to, replace electrostatic force for gravity. You really only need like 8.6 picocoulombs per kilogram of charge. So basically, if you had that field and the field is toroidal in nature, anything that has mass or charge, if the field changes directions upward, basically anything in that that altitude, if there's some kind of toroidal field with different directions, then you would have basically the same pathway of the traveling satellites, basically, and that would also account for like all the differences in like exit velocity, and all that stuff. So
Real quick, plug to the space, retweet the space. If you're Globey in the audience, we got a great speaker panel. That'll be some good times to ask some questions if you have them, or defend your globe belief. We've been looking for a globe champion all day, and they've been hard to come by. So
You guys just got to be better than Sydney, so it's a very low bar. It'll be high respect for anyone who wants to come.
Yeah, we're not asking for much.
Wait, I did Sydney better than Sydney did Sydney. I explained his argument better than he did.
One of the many reasons why we don't need Sydney.
Is there any updates from Jesse Pat the Light, and has he debunked Mike Heffron's Siesta Apparel yet?
Who cares? Oh my God.
Dude, we just went over how he tried to make a model in GeoGebra to add refraction coefficients to both ends of his quote Heffron angle to strawman the shit out of it, while taking the flat elevation angle in the glow prediction to add refraction. And then actually, right now, it's actually called Shane Celestial Theodolite model because I made a copy in GeoGebra and we're currently modifying it. So
that's funny. Well, to Path of Light's credit, it does seem like he's working hard. to his credit, he is working hard.
Who is that globe champion?
Sorry about that. I was gone for a little bit. Did you say there's a globe champion here or something like that?
Yeah, someone started a rumor.
Where are they at? Been looking for that guy. We know it's not Peter. We know it's not Mordwan. Definitely not Zidney.
Dude, it makes me think of that movie Troy, where all the battles are falling. Like, present your champion, and the big dude comes out, right? And some big Galuk or whatever.
Yo, mic check.
A most excellent scene. What's up, Beastles?
Peter.
Oh, there we go, dude. I was trying to talk. I had to refresh. It's all good. Real quick to that Starlink. I just wanted to mention something about So whatever they are, they don't stay up too long in the sky. There's like this whole chart that you can find. It's called satellite-map.space, and it tracks all the Starlink launches, OneWeb, Coupier, and GPS. And since 2020, all the way up to now, it says there's 8,436 of them launched. 6,278 of them are in service, and 1,100 of them have been burned, and then another 1,100 of them basically became inactive, which is why they need to continuously launch them. So I like whoever was just talking about the electrostatic gradient and basically, using that as some type of propulsion. Maybe eventually they just get too low or out of the ether stream or whatever. Who knows? I don't know. All I know is that they don't stay up there that long. I just wanted to mention that.
Dude, they had a whole bunch of patents on electrodynamic and electrostatic tethers from stuff, like all the way through the 90s, 92, 96, 94. They did these tests right up until the launch of the ISS, specifically with electrostatic tether at a high altitude. So you must assume that there's a height at which the tenuity is lower or whatever that mimics a vacuum at which the resistance is low enough where that speed is totally possible. It makes logistic sense, I think.
Yeah, it's wild.
I was just looking through the old posts, and I'm gonna put one in the nest up there that was like electrostatic tether when we were speculating on what satellites could be. Right, it's one of my first posts on Twitter, I think, ever. But I think Hap responded the very first time Hap ever responded. He said, "Do you believe a single word of what you wrote? Electrodynamic tether." And then I had to post the patent for the thing that's literally called the Propel Electrodynamic Tether, and how it works, and how the plasma source and collects energy and uses solar, literally, and then nothing.
Nothing. No response after that.
That was my first experience with Hap. Just bringing that up as a side note.
God bless him.
Yep. But yeah, this is for that dude who was talking about it. Sorry, dude.
I just want to know, Brian, what happened to your account?
Oh, man. Could be anything, man. Talk to a Globie. They got all butt hurt. I don't know, man. These guys, why they feel like this is something they need to do on a regular thing is like, it's ridiculous. I don't get it.
That's how they get you. That's how they get. There's like 6 people that literally hate you so much that when they find out you have a new handle, they get everywhere gets together in a room and they'll report you until you get banned. I think that's how it happens.
It's like having a Twitter STD.
Yeah, because through how many usernames and different platforms and different spaces, you've been trying different methods. One day you're a parody, now you're a joke, and then everything's a question, and then so many different methods, and it doesn't matter. You get banned every time. So this is my working theory.
To be fair, it's a lot more than 6. There's so many guys that'll come in the room, and they have an obsession with Brian. It's a trend. I'll be talking directly to them, and they'll be like, Brian. It's crazy.
Give me attention, you. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Yeah, I get it. To be fair, I totally made up the number 6. I have no idea how big his harem is.
His harem.
Oh, it's a big one, man. My goodness, these guys. I don't get it, man. Apparently, well, Charles said it is they don't like people that are free thinkers. They don't think for themselves. Then we had Zidney in here today say that he thought Occam's razor was stupid because he couldn't refute it.
What a profound thought.
I mean, they're just rejecting everything.
I don't know. I think some of them are just masochists and they just like to be, berated by their own stupidity.
I got an interesting point from an anonymous source. I hear you go on X right now and you guys talking about Starlink and ISS. These objects can all be seen as points of light in the night sky, but Starlink and ISS have no lights or headlights. So where does the light come from? They don't reflect the sun at night. It's from an anonymous source.
Yeah,
Huh.
what?
That's true.
Yeah.
They don't have any lights.
And not only that, but the IS is going 13 times faster than a bullet. You can't see a bullet with your naked eye. But I don't got the bullet app, so probably could see it then. It's all stupid. 254 miles up too. It's absurdity, I tell you. Absurdity. The size of an aeroplane zinging through the sky.
It doesn't exist. It does not exist. It's just it's all fiction, sci-fi, all of it.
That is the rumor. They call it pseudoscience.
I'm gonna
No,
go grab some.
they just make
munchies.
it interesting for kids. They make it interesting for man children, and they force Star Wars down their throat, and then they just buy into it, and they just, they love it so much. They can't get rid of NASA. It's just a part of them.
Dude, NASA's Disney for adults. That's what it is, right?
We had a guy today, Charles, shout out. He's like the guy who didn't like to think for himself, and he came in. What did he say, Brian? He's like, "Do you guys hear about the NASA app?" And we had to give him some credit because he had something, but I hadn't heard that one yet. The NASA app.
So if we get the NASA app, yeah, it's kind of like that app that'll work out the Coriolis.
I think the point we were making earlier holds for the entire globular position. Here's a formula that works, but when you plug in real world values, you're supposed to get like physically meaningful solution, and you don't. And so like they're just dependent on people looking like, oh, look at the math, oh, yeah, good math, oh, and then being like, you're an idiot, you don't get it. And it's like, okay, what does this one equal? Okay, how far is it? What's the height? Okay, why is my answer negative? Huh?
Yeah,
Well,
but
yeah.
Dane, that doesn't prove that it's not a globe. It could be a globe that's like 5 times bigger, parentheses, even though that ruins the entire model.
Well, that's because I have an unfalsifiable globe, and no matter what you say, you're wrong. And if the answer I don't know it, then I just don't have it yet. But I'll get back to you.
Yeah, man, I sure love unfalsifiable rhetorical claims. 'Tis a globe, as they say.
Yep, the smarter globularists just defend the unfalsifiable relativity until Alan comes in and destroys them with it, and then all the other globers just use basic unfalsifiability and wrap in their unfalsifiable beliefs, right?
I think the most intelligent of them will argue the things that are non-exclusive. They'll say, well, that's not exclusive, like that doesn't prove anything. And then, the really smart ones not even argue because they know there's no exclusive globe proof that debunks flatness or, topographical plainness, and they know there's no exclusive proof that debunks motion or lack thereof.
What about stellar aberration?
But yeah, what about all the globers who aggressively pretend that all of those are exclusive globe proof? Actually, they go the complete other way with it. They go, not only is this exclusive proof, it's exclusive proof for globe, and it's like, no, you don't understand it on two levels. But
some like 120 plus Flat Earth Friday sessions, Sacred and Proud begging for exclusive globe proofs, and no one ever had it. all they had was prevarication, obfuscation, wasting time, same garbage that Sydney was doing. They just come here to waste time. That's all we're asking for, friends. We're asking for exclusive proof of spinning globe. If you want to argue geocentric globe versus flat, go for it. But if you got exclusive proof of heliocentric spinning globe, slam it. Let's hear it.
Any globies?
Oh, that's when you hear crickets, my brother. Like, you're always gonna hear crickets after that.
Yeah, where are those globies at? Retweet to space. Tag your favorite globie. See where they're at.
Did y'all hear about the whole solar flares that they're pushing down our throats, saying that solar flares are the one reason why all these blackouts are happening across the world?
Yeah. The next day it was Bitcoin, and then the next day it was something else. Anyone else heard about that? I was gonna go to Kermit the Frog, but
it's all just false flags, really. They're just trying to build up false flags because they're gonna shut down the power, and then people are gonna die from it because nobody can live without TikTok, nobody can live without electricity. But yeah, I mean, it's just a bunch of fear porn. They tell you, oh, the solar flares are reaching 20 million miles close to Earth, and all this bullshit that your electrical grid can't handle it. It's all fake. All of it is fake. NBC literally just dropped the whole thing on it like 2 days ago.
yeah, I haven't been following it because that's kind of where I'm at, right? And I've spent time trying to follow some of this stuff, and then it turns out not to be the case or whatever. But what do you got for us, Zid?
Yeah, I just posted a video up top that includes exclusive globe proof. So it's kind of hard for you guys to watch it right now, but I would like to talk you through it.
Why don't you give us a try? What's the gist of it, real quick?
So what I did was, obviously, I don't have a military plane available to me right now. So I went to DCS. This is one of the most realistic combat simulators we have. A lot of pilots fly that to simulate the Su-27 against the F-16. So what I did was I went to that, and then I recorded the globe proof. So globe proof is that, and imagine you're flying in early morning and the sun has not come up. You're flying around 1,000 feet. You can't see the sun. Then you climb to 30,000 feet. Now you see the sun. Then you descend to 1,000 feet again, and the sun is gone, right?
Didn't we already discuss this with you? No, that was Gary, about how you go higher and you can see farther. That was Gary today. So I'm sorry.
Did you just bring up DCS plane simulator as your exclusive globe proof?
No, what I told you was that I couldn't film this from a military airplane with afterburner. You see, you need to have a pretty cool climb rate to sort of film this within certain reasonable time. I don't have that available. So what I did was I went to DCS to get some visuals, but you don't really need visuals for this to work.
Sydney, if it was a stationary topographical, actually forget stationary, if it was a topographical plane, would you see further the higher up you go? And if so, why? If not, why not?
Well, you certainly wouldn't see the sun disappearing just by changing altitude.
Sir, that was not the question, because you made a specific claim about going higher up and seeing further in the simulator. So I was asking you, in a topographical plane environment, would you see further the higher you go up? If so, why? If not, why not?
And on the globe model, you see higher because you can see over the curve. Why would you see further on a flat Earth?
Can you answer his question instead of asking him another
Yeah.
question? Can you repeat it for the third time, Galatrax? I don't know if he heard
That's
you.
absolutely fine. Sir, you made an exclusive claim. So an exclusive claim in science is what is mutually exclusive and can only work for one thing and not the other. So if you're saying this can only work for your thing and not the other, I asked you, why would this not work for the other, right? how would this work on a a topographical plane? If you go higher, would you see further? If so, why would that be? And if not, why wouldn't that be? I'm not going to ask you again. I don't know why you're struggling with this.
Yeah, so the reason why this is exclusive globe proof is that just by changing altitude, you are hiding the sun,
Wrong.
right? No, this is the actual what is happening in reality.
No, your answer is incorrect.
Are you saying this doesn't happen?
No, your
Failed
answer
to
is
answer the
incorrect
question.
because you made a claim that it was mutually exclusive. A mutual exclusivity claim falsifies the ability of the other thing. So it can only be this, it cannot be that. So I'm asking you, why can it not be that? And you're just saying, it can only be this, it can only be this. So I'm asking you, on a topographical plane, if you went higher up, would you be able to see further? If so, why would that be? And if not, if you wouldn't be able to see further, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, so imagine you have a personal dome, you have a limit to your vision. That wouldn't change with altitude, right?
Dude, you guys try to invoke personal dome way too much. He didn't ask you that, man.
Observer height is directly determining, right, how far you can see in both models. It's very easy.
No, not in both models. You wouldn't see further on a plane.
Can you say
Why?
why not?
Why?
He just asked you why not like 6 times. Can you tell us why not?
Please for them to say it, guys.
Yeah, so think about it. How far can you see? That is how far you can see. It wouldn't change, right?
This is just vague platitudes, Ipsy Dixit. You just say stuff, you make claims.
You think on a flat Earth, if I got in a plane, I wouldn't see further at the top of my plane arc than I would when I'm standing on the surface? Is that what you're saying, Susan?
No, because the Earth is flat. That's the whole point.
What?
Okay, well that's retarded. I'm glad we diffused this.
No,
before we went
your
any
model
further.
is retarded. That's the
All
point.
right. You said it was a video with a list of mutually exclusive proofs for the globe. Since the first one was dog shit, do you have any other ones?
No, this is proof of a globe.
No, sir, it is not mutually exclusive proof because you cannot exclude. You know what exclusive means, right?
Okay,
It
so
means
explain this to me.
exclude.
How would the sun disappear just by changing altitude?
Okay, you realize that you make claims, right? You say stuff. You say, you're wrong, this is right. And then if someone asks you, hey, how's that the case? You just go, well, how's this work then? Like, you're being retarded. So mutually exclusive means it excludes something. So if I'm asking you, how does it exclude something? And you say, well, this is how it works on that globe. You're being retarded.
You don't know how to argue. Maybe you should study that a bit, right?
I don't know how to act. Maybe I should study that opinion. Thank you for your
Right?
advice.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Do you want the next one?
Okay, once again, mutually exclusive means it excludes
I
something.
couldn't handle it anymore, man.
Yeah, this is.
Sorry, guys.
Zinni, I'm sorry. You're just a retard, man. Like I think you don't know how to think very well.
That was just horrible, Sydney. Seriously.
Dude, you think I was like, so if you get in a plane and you ride the plane up, right, and you go to 30,000 feet, I should be able to see just only as far as I could from my 6-foot observer height on the surface on a flat plane as I am when I'm 30,000 feet in the air. And he said, yeah, absolutely. With a straight face, like that's the position, right? So I don't like. There's no point to go any further with that.
I think he does those like vague platitudes and those vague claims, so he doesn't have to defend anything. He can just keep like reiterating retard statements. I'm sorry, Zinni, but I really don't think you're that smart. Would like you to come back at some point, maybe.
The basic observation that as you get like higher, as the observer gets higher, you can see further on either model, right? There's a definite difference in the ratio and the amount that you should on each one, but the same is true for each. And we took it right to the extreme with a plane, and he was like, "No, it should be indifferent." Like, I'm unwilling to acknowledge that yes, even on a flat Earth, a plane can see further than a 6-foot dude.
Well,
I think in his mind, he thinks like, oh, well, you're on a flat Earth. You should be able to see forever. as if there's no
Yes,
optical compression.
I know, but we want him to make that retarded claim that just like that and just say it out loud with your chest, right?
Did I lose audio?
Then and it was like, yeah, Alan's gone. What's up with that?
Yeah, hey man. How we
Yo,
doing there?
audio's back. What's up, Orwellian?
What's up, man? You guys got me? Can you hear me or what?
Yes, sir.
Hey, you bet.
Right on, right on. You guys been having fun tonight? You guys get any Globers to mess with? What have I missed?
Your vibrator's going off, brother.
Yeah, somebody was trying to call me. I rejected it. They can kiss my ass.
We had one globe friend, but he was just not very bright, unfortunately.
Oh man. I guess I'll have to listen to the recording. We'll figure it out. Yeah, man.
Sydney, so.
Oh God. Oh, I'm glad. I mean,
Yeah, there you
I
go.
already
That's
had
right.
a headache. I already had a headache today, and I got rid of that headache, and then I would have come in and gotten another headache. That wouldn't have been ideal. So I'm glad I dodged that bullet. Yeah, man. No, just chilling, man. Having a good week. Brian Sweet's on account. What now? Number 6? Or are we on 7?
You should start
17?
incrementing them. Your at should have your number now, bro. Like your stand. Oh, does it say 8? It's probably 8 then.
No,
He's
that's
on
something
88th
else.
account.
Okay.
the 8's something else. But oh man, no, I was kicking it with Ted Wednesday. Did an episode on the phone booth pod, so that was fun. Otherwise, just been getting cooked in the Midwest, man, and it's weird out here because it was like 90 in May, and tomorrow I've got a mini golf tournament fundraiser for my oldest son's. Like, he's going on a mission trip, dude. So we're playing mini golf. It's gonna be 40. We're all gonna be in coats. It's gonna be ridiculous. I love it.
Yeah, it was hot today where I was at. Are you saying it's getting cold tomorrow?
Yeah, we're down into the 50s right now. So overnight it's gonna be like 38. It was raining all day, so tomorrow it's gonna stay at like mid 40s the whole day. So we got like a 35-degree temperature swing from the whole week to Saturday.
Yeah, it's usually par for the course where I'm at too, and whatever. Yeah, I'm in the Midwest too, but yeah, it's raining cats and dogs, so I wouldn't be surprised. It was humid too, so yeah, maybe it'll be cold and dry early tomorrow.
Yeah, it was raining Newtons and Einsteins here earlier, and finally that died off, so I can stand outside and smoke a cigarette in peace.
Newtons and Einsteins. Is that when the rain starts to come in at an angle when you're in motion, so that it's poised to actually come out?
That's that sideways centrifugal.
Yeah, gotcha.
That's an airy. That's an airy.
It'd be more aptly named Aries. Yeah, that you got running into Aries down there.
Alan, you excited for tomorrow?
Currently building a Prezi right now, brother.
I felt it. Felt it in the back of my bones, bro. Felt it.
Is it gonna let you do a 20-minute Prezi as an opener?
We both have a 15-minute opener. It's going to be the best 15 minutes you guys have ever seen for an opener. Dude, it's going to be insane. 15-minute opener, dude. God bless.
That's a hell of a long time.
That's a big opener, dude. That's
I have a telescope. I look
so
at
you-
a star.
So you both are going to make your cases in the opener, And then how long for open debate? Just...
There's no time limit or whatever. He just said like open discussion / debate after the 15-minute openers.
Nice.
So
basically till the mental exhaustion sets in and it's like, I can't do this anymore.
What's up, Orwellian?
Pretty much.
Hey, I'm digging the new PFP, Alan. What's going on, Big Bear?
Well, I had got to, switch it up every now and then. Try and do a...
Not you, Stormtrooper. I was talking to Alan. Yours is cool too, but fuck.
Yeah, I went to the AI store and got a new one or whatever.
Dude, I'll forever see Brian as Nicolas Cage. I can't not see it.
Yeah, we had a real trouble finding your space tonight, even though that we knew you and we knew where it was, and all our friends were here.
Well, that's what it's trying to do there. Trying to skate by, trying to blend in.
It's good because we couldn't even find you.
I didn't even know you got nuked until you fucking commented on something I posted and you're like, follow me, fucker. And I clicked on you and looked at the @ and I saw the 88s and I was like, God damn, really, dude? Again?
Dude.
I just assume that every time I open Twitter, Brian's gonna have a new Twitter account at this point.
It's like almost like an Easter egg hunt now, right?
Now you're
Press, you need your own BDL, the Brian Defense League.
I think you just gotta pick a picture and stay with it. That's what's killing us.
The BDL is a great idea. The Brian Defense League, bro. I love it. No, man, like, I don't know, you're catching up to Escanor at this point.
Right.
How hard is it for you to just be the same Nicolas Cage picture forever? Honestly.
I missed it so much.
That'd be much easier for the rest of us.
It'd be easier for us, but he's putting on camouflage right now, so I kind of get what he's doing. Like, yeah, it's great for us. We don't get confused, but yeah, you're confusing everybody else, so I get it.
You can hide as a spoof of yourself.
But what's funny is it's like as soon as I came back, they're all like, here he is again. It's like, man, I just got back.
You think we could talk Elon into making a new macro, like a new function for as soon as we log in, you punch the reinstate Brian's new account on your list, find a new Brian, some kind of
on the home screen button. It should just show me Brian's handle.
Right next to notifications and messages and Grok and find Brian. There should be like a button right there every time you log in. It's first
it's like an Apple AirTag for
just a quick macro, search and find and add and follow, and you're done. And then you're back up to date.
All right, guys, we got a globe champion in the house.
Who we got? Oh my God, it's
fucking
Brian.
Here we go.
Oh, Mord one's not that bad, honestly.
Brian, why didn't you come by the server last night? Ken was there.
What server?
Oh, the best server.
You said the server like anybody knows what server you're talking about.
Coming in hot.
Mm-hmm.
The server.
Says it with his chest.
Morty.
Rock with your cock out, as they say.
I respect that.
What up, Alan? How you doing?
Hola, doing good.
Yeah, that was pretty fun the other night. It's good seeing Witsit too. Hope he's doing well.
Yep.
Did you think it was fun to have your server get raped by the ridiculousness of relativity? Because I thought that was funny.
Oh yeah. I bent over so far that the Sagnac effect applied.
I mean, you were calling for the champions, and then there was silence, right? It just ended.
I know.
There's like a lot of talk after we left.
Usually the way it works, yeah.
Yeah, it was like that Genghis Khan type shit, where you roll up to the city and all the defenders are just like, I just work here, bro.
Man, I think last night I was playing games with the boys over there in the Aether Cos, in the real server.
In the real the server.
In the real server.
You got any?
Kind of like it's kind of like East Germany as a server, except you keep people out instead of in.
Yeah, throw us a bone, Morty. Do you have any exclusive globe proofs you can think of off the top of your head?
No, bro. I saw Denver from like the foothills, and I'm a flat earther now. I saw too far.
You know, Peter decided to take my position on this stuff too. Is that what your guys' strategy is now? Just agree with us
and pretend like they were the whole thing.
Can neither agree nor disagree with that statement.
Are you a professional opponent position taker?
Yes, except I don't get paid. I'm the one that pays.
I'm not gonna lie, that was fucking funny, man. Are you telling me that Peter's got to the point where he's just like he's gonna agree with it and then turn around and say it was his idea all along?
Dude,
all I can say,
is that the evolution of Peter?
That's the evolution of Globers.
All I can say is wait to see how the globe spins. That's all I can say.
Remember when you said like I'm gonna have a presentation or a video in 7 months from now? Like you had your other server and you were like, "We're sitting on this proof, guys. We're gonna make this video that'll really show you how wrong you are." Or whatever.
No,
but
I
you
don't
gave
remember.
it such a long timeline. 7 months from now, I'm gonna make an answer to that. You wait, bro.
That sounds like something I would do. Yeah.
Today,
That
Peter
was
was
Peter.
Yeah, I was saying, go ahead, Ken.
I was going to just saying that was Peter that said it would
What's
be in
it?
7 months.
Okay, all right, my bad.
And today, Peter was saying his manifesto is going to be in the next As It Globe Spins or whatever thing he's got going.
Well, the New York Times told him to get fucked, so he had to release it somewhere, you know?
Shit, the word manifesto has kind of got, a negative connotation these days with all the, confused people shooting people and all that. But no, wait to see which way the globe spins, man. I mean, since the globe is actually a prop that you just place on a desk, it'll spin whichever way you choose. You can spin it. You can spin it eastward or westward, however you feel on Monday. You can change your mind on Tuesday, shake it up, throw everybody a a real spiral. Nobody's gonna know how to stand it. It'd be like being really, really drunk.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I think I'm a pretty decent DJ because I can spin as good as Mossad. You know what I mean?
Oh, he's coming in with the bangers.
Dude, I think Mordawan knows there's no
Mordawan, did
exclusive
you
proof.
say I think of a decent DJ because I can spin as good as Mossad?
Yeah, how much did you pay for that one?
Let's go.
No, I don't know. I don't have anything new. I've been working on a couple things, but there's nothing exciting yet.
But deep in your heart that there's no exclusive proof either way. That's why you just come and buddy up with us because you know there's no point.
That's right.
I think Mordwan's a true scientist. He wants to progress the ideas forward and not like stultify progress. Like Dr. John at one point showed the sign of a true scientist. When Phil Theo first came out, he had like actual excitement for it. He's like, no, I think this is great. I think we can do this.
That was fake excitement though.
Yeah, well, we don't know that. He might have just, realized he's gonna get dumpstered in debating it. So he's like, I'm gonna go back and like hate you.
Oh no, that's clearly fake.
He seemed genuinely excited.
He was smarmy and unctuous about it. He was insincerely fakely genuine. That's definitely what that was.
On the Clubhouse, did you guys hear him on the Clubhouse? He sounded so enthused.
That kind of reminded me of the Family Guy bit when you said smarmy and unctuous.
Shallow and pedantic or whatever.
Churlish and insubordinate.
Rather shallow and pedantic.
No, I think he was genuinely excited until he started to look into it closer, and then his excitement faded into dread.
Yeah, on Clubhouse, he did sound very sincerely excited for it. He liked it.
Like he really did. He was just like, I freaking love this idea of using stars being occluded by a mountain peak. That's awesome. And then he looked at every single one of them and he was like, well, there's something weird here.
The progression of John was pretty funny to watch him go from smarmy unctuous to like double refractive additive whatever. To the Jesse method.
Why don't we use a mountain peak that's a mile away? That's crazy.
Is that like Mickey Mouse at the end there? Like, is that like the globe defender?
I think it was.
I don't know.
It's pretty. It sounds.
Fucking like white Masonic gloves, like.
Did y'all hear that in your server? Like that. That was a real sound I heard. So.
Oh yeah.
Listen, I'm not the best when it comes to impressions. All right, that was my Mickey Mouse impression.
I will vouch for that.
Uh-oh, Nick Cage is back. The Globies are gonna start coming out of the woodworks with that PFP back. I'm telling you, that enrages them.
Perfect.
Yeah, put your Nicolas Cage picture back on. What the hell are you doing? Who gives
I like how, did you
know what you should
change
do,
your
though?
name?
You know what you should do? You should invert it 180 degrees though, so you're upside down.
So hey, I
in
got
distress.
a question. When are we getting Stephen Young to come by? Do you guys talk to that guy?
You know about Stephen Young?
Of course.
I've been saying things about Stephen Young. I think I may have sent you the first thing, Mord One. Do you know I met him in person over the weekend or over the 5-day at Confluence?
Oh no, that's sick. I don't remember you telling me that.
Yeah, Mark Gober was there too. He gave out 150 copies of his book, An End to the Upside Down Cosmos, and both Steve and Mark had talks. And at night, Steve did a 3-hour DJ set too. He like had head flux going, and everybody was chilling. 432 hertz. It was sick.
Nice. That sounds
Wow,
awesome.
presidency does have its perks, hey?
Dude, it was awesome. Yeah, we hung out. I've been listening, getting the kids, down. I've got almost a 3-month-old now. My wife went back to work. It's been just like juggling, but I've been listening today. I actually was in a space earlier with Sacred. But hearing y'all, man, I had to grab a mic because the kids are down and the dishes can wait. Just wanted to say hey.
Yeah.
Love you, JT.
What's up, JT? Mayor?
Love you, JT.
Hey, love y'all too. Oh, I ran 5 miles with Ian Carroll. That was pretty sick. About an hour. We just took it easy. But Owen Benjamin, he's been ragging on him, and some of the Bears are ragging on him, and I didn't know it was like a no. So they're all telling me I got to pay my gay away for running with him. But I'm like, dude, he's straight. Like, I met his girlfriend. His girlfriend's good looking. They're traveling. I mean, like I didn't get any gay vibes whatsoever. So it's kind of hilarious that Owen's doing that.
Well, you probably
hypothetically, and I'm just asking for a friend. How does one pray the gay away? Like, if you've had a gay problem, like the gay keeps getting all.
No. It's not pray. You're mistaken.
You pay the gay away. You super chat. You super chat Owen, and that alleviates your gay.
Yeah, it forgives your gayness from God. It actually directly forgives the amount of gays, how much money you give.
It is,
and that's how much.
Think of it as gay indulgence.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, it rhymes with pray, but it's actually pay. I agree 100%. Pay the gay away. You're not praying that shit away.
It's like a swear jar, but with gay.
Hey, shout out to Owen though, dude. Owen's funny as fuck, man. He does that to everybody.
Yeah, he's real funny.
I've got a hypothetical. Hypothetically, in a different world, because we know that pressure requires containment, yada yada yada. If space did exist, would it still be gay if it wasn't fake? Is there something intrinsically gay about space?
Well, don't they repeatedly jam phallic rockets into it, or would they do something else with it?
Have you seen the commercials? Have you seen the promo commercials for this place, man? It's super gay, man.
Pretty gay, yeah.
What, like that robot polisher video? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's like ambiguously gay duo gay, if I'm being honest.
Okay. So is that a yes? It would still be gay?
It would still be gay. It would be Neil deGrasse Tyson riding Bill Nye the Science Guy on a unicorn through the cosmos.
I think it would be original series Star Trek opening credits gay.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. To be precise, that's what it would be, I think.
I appreciate the precision.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be an astrophysics nerd, and I loved space until I realized it was fake gay.
Man, I love it, man. My whole theory of a lot of stuff came from space, so I was pretty into space too. It's kind of.
I'm not afraid to admit it.
I'm not afraid to admit it either, man. We all believed in the globe, man. These guys act like we came here and like What are you talking about? We never heard
we
of that
never-
before.
Yeah,
We
but
never Googled
listening
anything before.
listening to More to One server yesterday before we got there, you guys were like, "Oh, have you heard about this new space? Anybody going to grab you about a black hole? You know, we have this thing." You guys were so excited, and I was reminded, D&D nerds. Hold on.
Easy there,
Yo,
Shane.
You got your dog excited, bro.
Nah, his girlfriend walked by. He's super excited now. All right.
He said, "Nope."
It's fine.
But yeah, to your question, more to one, most of us in here, I would say, you know, we're space nerds.
I mean, you certainly talk about relativity and space a lot more than the general population. That's for sure.
Well, if you look at the bell curve, you'll understand why.
Oh, yeah. I do like the bell curve. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point, Mord. Yeah, flat earthers do talk about relativity in space more than like regular folks. And I would say like anti-flat earthers talk more about flat earth than flat earthers do. It's like a very
Seriously,
strange
guy.
thing.
It isn't that the thing, though, is that we all kind of know about this stuff, and we just kind of say, yeah, it's space, and then kind of go about your day. That's the thing, is no one really talks about anything.
Well, I have to, you know, my
the
boyfriend
spinning
wakes me
and
up
the curving and the gas pressure without containment. I mean, all that stuff. We just all like,
No, it's well documented on YouTube. We're looking at high school kids, the average ones are coming out now, that cannot even tell you what the time is by looking at an analog dial.
that's so sad. Can't drive a stick shift. Can't read.
It goes on and on what they don't fucking know about reality.
Can't read an app.
We have a long way to go when it comes to making a comparison with the public.
Yeah,
Shit,
but I
it
mean,
gets worse than that.
there's
I
give and
watched somebody
take.
ask. Oh, go ahead, basically.
No, my bad. You go first, bro. Go ahead, Ken.
No, I was just gonna say it gets worse than that. I watched a video where a guy literally asked somebody, "What country is Canada in?"
Oh fuck yeah!
And they said England.
Dude, you guys ever seen Mark Dice interviews on the street asking random people basic questions about geography? Like, just basic,
yeah.
like just nobody knows any. Or he asks all the world's stupidest people all in a row. I don't know, either one. Or the average intelligence is really fucking low.
It's cherry pick editing, but
gold and silver and
the
a
data's
Snickers
solid.
bar. He had one with a gold and Snickers bar on the streets, and they were all taking the Snickers bar instead of the stick of silver or gold.
Well, you guys have seen those like dude perfect videos where they throw a basketball like, you know, hundreds of feet or whatever, and it goes in. You know,
Yeah, they
that's
spend
similar to
days
those
shooting
street-
that over
That's
and
similar to
over and
those
over.
street interviews where like it looks like they just did it right on the spot, but really they're doing it. There's a lot of attempts.
I think like 100 people took the money, and then like one idiot took the candy bar, and they just did that 1,000 times or whatever until they got 6 people.
I'd like to think the ratio is that way, but I think we know the truth.
Yeah, like if I were to stop and talk to a random person, the impression I get from our interaction is that they were about as intelligent as depicted by Mark Dice.
Yeah, dumb as a stump.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know. I don't know. Like the Galley was saying, it could definitely just be cherry picked, and we don't see the hundreds of times where it was just like a decent, normal conversation in order to paint a narrative about how stupid people are. You know, in order to induce that, you know, that feeling you get like, wow, everyone's fucking stupid. And I'm just gonna stick to myself, you know, and it creates that isolationist feeling, which is kind of what they want. So I don't know. It's the same thing like with surveys or statistics or sampling data. Like 27% of Americans think this way, and it's like, oh, took out of a poll from like 1,100 people.
Well,
like,
quite clearly an attempt to control how you perceive the world, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Like if you can, like if I'm in the minority, I'm not right. Like no, you're supported by everyone. We all think it's fake and gay. It's just because nobody gets together and says it out loud that you're even questioning it.
It's bold appeal to the hive-minded nature of the typical human. That's all it is, man. It's manipulation.
Cole
That's
just
so
said,
funny. Someone told me that they looked at a stack of books on Bill Gates' desk, and they saw a book entitled "How to Lie with Statistics." So they downloaded that book and they
No
started reading
way.
it.
Oh, for
I
sure.
downloaded that book and I put it on Aether Cosmology. So if anyone wants to read How to Lie with Statistics from the Bill Gates recommendation table.
Yeah. Statistics is how you do it, man.
With the truth, that's how you deceive, right?
So the latest stat that I heard was that 5 out of 4 Americans are really shitty at math.
I heard recently, Stone, that you're not an American, so that self-identity has taken you out of that self.
Well, I just
That's cool.
just
That's
heard
cool.
about it. I'm just saying. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying.
Well, I heard 4 out of 5 Americans support Israel too.
Yeah, there you go. That's a better statistic, and I bet most of them do because they're silly and retarded.
I've got another one. Did you know that 9 out of 11 towers are built with proper cement? We all know what happened to the other 2.
Yeah, no doubt.
But yeah, the point remains that the media uses.
Dude, is everybody eating?
Yeah, dude. More people want to make food.
Guys, man.
Hey Shane, I'll send you
Get a wireless headset, Shane.
Give me a prediction real quick, Shane. I'll buy you a pizza. It's cool.
Yeah, but so statistics are basically how you can control the narrative in any way you want by just quoting some numbers, and people are like, oh, okay, yeah,
Well, dude,
numbers.
Just think about how they did it with the thing, right? They were like, listen, it's not that you died of a thing, it's that you died with a thing, and we'll qualify you to have a with a thing with another thing that doesn't do the thing it says it's doing, and we'll crank up a threshold to have a manual throttle on the amount of things that we create in the first place. I think that was pretty YouTube safe.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We had a huge example of what we're talking about 5 years ago.
like how to lie with statistics, exactly like that. Yes.
Felt like a fever dream. Forgot about that one.
Yeah, how all the flu cases died right when something else and the exact empirical amount rose sporadically out of the same thing. That's crazy, right? And then people who died of anything got attributed with a heart attack and a bus driver hit and a car accident actually all had the thing as well. So then they will now count as these from the thing, right? So yeah, statistics, you're lying with it. That's how you do it.
I'm actually going to get that book now, though, Gowie.
Well, you want to argue about something?
I was gonna just say, I was thinking about what to argue. Do you do the Big Bang and everything, Morwan?
Taking a opposing position, Morty.
I think everything banged everywhere.
So I might have missed it. Did Mord1 give us some exclusive glow proof?
No, he gave up. He tapped out right off the bat.
He tapped out immediately.
Wait, can you hear Mord1?
Huh?
Brian?
I can. Yeah, I can hear him.
You can hear him. Okay, cool.
I'm a little far from my computer. Is that better?
Yeah. I mean, I heard him. I just said I might have missed it. I just said I might have missed it. Did Mord1 present any exclusive glow proof?
No, I'm sorry. It's we're working on it right now at one of our facilities.
The Big Bang Everywhere, is it a multiverse reference?
No, I had to bang everywhere at the same time.
It was a gay reference, I think. That's what he's been doing recently a lot. But
I think it's a gay cosmology.
I think it's a gay cosmology too. I mean, it sounds pretty gay, the Big Bang, like that sounds.
Well, I mean, like your cosmology probably was pretty gay.
Well, most likely, yeah.
What do you actually subscribe to? No bullshit.
I literally don't even know. Like, if I were to say anything, it would just be based on what I've heard from authority. So I don't really put much stock in.
What does your heart say, Morty?
This is what Peter's stance is as well.
Ew.
I just think what I'm told is what he just said with a complete straight face.
I just think what Daddy thinks.
This guy in his face. the other day was said, unfortunately, people think for themselves, and I brought that up. He's like, yes, we let the experts do it for us. It was a good one.
Yeah, I mean,
a.
I know that the CMB exists, but I don't know that, like, beyond that, anything else. Like, I don't know. I mean, if we don't even understand what dark, like, admittedly don't even have a model of dark energy or dark matter, then how can we speculate about the early universe? We don't even understand the universe in its current state.
Oh,
Would be my
right.
perspective.
Respect for that answer.
Sound piece of logic, nicely done.
But I mean, I'm not that's just, I think part of the problem with a lot of this modern science is that it's so difficult to actually like verify anything that they say. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there are things that you can check yourself and measure, but like, I can't fucking get 800 pounds of mercury and a Michelson interferometer and set it up in my garage, or, you know, and that was like 120 years ago, whatever it was. But like it's pretty wild that like, I mean, anything like that, right, is just goes through so much, so like such a high level of abstraction that I think it's really hard for people to even like parse, let alone reproduce what was done.
Do you think that's by accident?
I don't think it's by accident. I think that fields have developed more and more complexly over time because a lot of the easy shit has been worked out. I do think that it's a failure of the system. The extent to which it's like some sort of gatekeeping, I can't speculate on that, but there's certainly a lot of gatekeeping in academia that I've experienced personally and know of, right? Like the Black-Scholes equation, for example. Myron Fisher Black and another guy came is the Black-Scholes, right? Well, the guys that got the Nobel Prize for it, they didn't get the Nobel Prize until the guy that actually came up with it died. And that guy was the one that was actually working in industry. The other two that got the Nobel Prize went on to fund long-term capital management in 1996, which crashed the global economy in 2000. That's a crazy story too. So my point in saying that is that like the academics have like a very high opinion of themselves and tend to gatekeep things. So that would be my, I don't know if that answers your question, Trey.
That's fair enough.
Like either way, I regard it as a failure because like it shouldn't be the case that there ought to be some way to verify some of this stuff. I mean, I feel like it would be there. It's not like an unsolvable problem, but I don't really feel like the way that that gap is being bridged is that effective.
How about the way it's presented with constant historical recontextualization, right? Where the scientist himself will say one thing, and then the history books and Wikipedia will say the exact opposite.
And it's funny because I asked a scientist, Franco, one time, and he invoked his best globe proof was the history books. I was like, no, we got like the best scientist of the globies up here. So I thought that was funny.
Well, Franco is always very like specific to his area, I feel like. From the times I've heard him speak generally, like he doesn't really like to speak scientifically outside of his discipline, which I respect, but then it's like obviously like, you know, sometimes you want to learn, you want to like hear what his opinion is on an issue, right? Because there's a certain level of respect, you know, that he knows he's at least like somewhat, you know, learned in that regard. But
well, if everybody followed that, nobody could have an opinion on most things. Do you think that would be a good way to conduct conversation in a free society? Mode one.
No, I think that the reliance on that we've seen that the reliance on experts is not necessarily always good, and a lot of the so-called experts of the modern era aren't really specially qualified to speak on anything.
There you go. It's like listening to a celebrity and then giving me life advice. Like what?
But what you just described, Mord One, is literally the problem with academia, right? Where you get the brightest, best people, you know, on Earth, basically hyper focus in an area that literally means nothing.
Well, the thing is, though, yeah, I get what you're saying with that, but
It's
like
a trap.
sometimes those things come back around in ways that are unpredictable. I do think that there are a lot of issues with academia, particularly as it like with regards to like how politics and like any sort of dissent is handled in that regard, generally speaking. But like, I think that while I see your point, a lot of maybe we should focus on a society on more applied things. I don't know, but I do know that sometimes that like hyper theoretical stuff that was never thought to have an application ends up having an application later on.
Give me an example.
Group theory is extremely useful in particle physics, and group theory was developed purely based on pure mathematics. Another example that's more tangible and like easily interactable with is that the RSA algorithm, which is the main algorithm that's used for online encryption, like for conversation we're having right now, it has some level of encryption, right? If you go through, your traffic isn't to and from the website isn't visible to everyone in the world, right? It's encrypted, and that RSA encryption algorithm, which I forget, it was like 3 Indian dudes, and it's basically based on pure number theory. So things that were developed with no particular application in mind by pure mathematicians.
Well, I mean, encryption is the application.
But I'm saying that what was developed wasn't developed for encryption. It was developed purely as an exercise in the theory of numbers without any application in mind. And then a long time later, the same thing with group theory, a long time later, someone that was studying that mathematics that was working in an applied field saw how to use it in their work. RSA is one of the most significant ones because it's like the basis for a lot of modern encryption. So I'd say those are two right there. But I get your point. Like, I think that we have a lot of problems as a society, and there is a certain degree of question that the public have, perhaps rightfully so, about where money is being spent in research. I don't know if it was theater, but I support that Trump executive order to shut down gain of function research. The fact that that would ever be funded in the first place, again, caveats of what's true or not in terms of everything going into that, is insane. The fact that that was ever, even if like they're lying to us about it, the fact that they would even pretend to do something like that is like the craziest thing. It's like,
what, work on bioweapons that completely decimate the human?
Yeah, just like make viruses more deadly. What could possibly go wrong?
But that's, yeah, like you
Perpetuating
said,
virus fear.
Yeah, if it's true, if virus,
well, yeah, obviously
theory is true.
Yeah. If contagion theory is true, if viral infection is true, if all of that's built on, if actually they're not exosomes and under the microscope, even though they're indistinguishable, if.
You know, Kurt Metzger had a bit on like how crazy that period was, where they literally had it in the World Health Organization recommendations to wear a mask while fucking your significant other in the ass.
Yeah, that's usually you want to wear the mask consensually, and it should be like,
but just think
some
like,
sort
oh,
of like,
make sure you protect yourself from COVID. Oh, sorry, we're on YouTube. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Keep forgetting.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, me too. I shouldn't have talked about that one either. Which is also tells you something, right?
Yeah, right. Self-censorship. Yeah. Whatever.
Believes in the Big Bang and that everything came from nothing all at once and that no one and nothing caused it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, the more intelligent atheists do not argue Big Bang. They argue always was universe. So I've been looking into the atheist versus religious argument. The more intelligent ones do not argue Big Bang because they can't like claim that there's less proof of Big Bang than there is of Creator. So they just say universe always twas.
They're like, our theory's so bad, we got to come up with a new one. We got to start believing in God.
It's so weak, we got to find sniveling ways to defend it.
Oh, more one. I want to say when you said, I don't know, I thought that was awesome because you lean towards, globe, and then I lean towards stationary topographical plane that's enclosed. But honestly, I think both of us as human beings have that I don't know factor in us that breeds curiosity and wonder, and it makes us want to dig and research and study and look into it. Where you have your sheeple that they just believe what they're told or what they were told when they were in, kindergarten. So we're a lot closer, as far as being inquisitive humans than enemies. And I guess I'll land the plane with this. I like that, you think differently than me, but we don't have to argue. Like we don't have to fight or
Yeah.
be mad or hate each other. And more people need to learn from you and how you come around and chill.
Yeah, respect, man. When I'm not like off the handle, being unhinged, but
when you're doing your Jekyll and Hyde thing or whatever.
But yeah, I feel you, man. Yeah, I want to say, like, I really enjoyed. I'd love to do another episode that when we did that talk with Joe Hanvey and then Alan came on as well. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that
it
was
fun.
great. We'll have to set that up. I just have to try to work it in with a 3-month-old. That's the hardest part right now.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you must be such a good dad. Am I wrong? Like, everyone, like, doesn't he seem like he'd be like the best fucking dad in the world?
He's the super dad. He's got a costume and everything. I saw him changing a phone booth just yesterday, bro.
Y'all are too kind. I mean, that's why I've been disappeared. People are like, "Where are you at? Where you at? Are you still flat?" I'm like, "Yeah, totally. I just have 4 kids." And I told my wife when Amelia gets here, I'm just gonna tone it down on the internet, tone it down on my computer, leave my phone in my pocket or away. And I've just kind of engaged with the fam. I miss you guys. I have FOMO like crazy, but you got to take care of business.
Yep.
I've been focusing on real life too. The Aether Cosmology guys drag me out of the basement every now and then. They're like, Galatrax audit this debate, or, help us prepare this argument. And, they send me back in the basement and lock me up by the radiator.
Yeah, what are you doing out here?
Yeah, exactly. Guys,
Alright.
unfortunately, I'm gonna have to leave you hanging on the exclusive gloat proof. Because
no.
I have to
We knew
run
you
away.
would. It's no big deal. We knew you would.
I have to run away. I'm too weak before
You
the
lose,
power
we
of the
win.
row.
Yeah. Wow, that's great.
Thanks for stopping by, bro.
Later, Morty.
Dude, I think that we
Later, Morty.
We could find some equal ground with some globulous friends who don't trust the government so much, because we can all agree that the Freemasonic square and compass is sort of an allegory for our argument, right? Because they say the square is a right angle formed by right lines that is adapted only to a plane surface, belongs only to geometry and earth measurement. It says that trigonometry, which deals with planes and with the earth, that's pretty clear. It says, with the ancients supposed to be a plane. The compass describes circles, and circles with spherical trigonometry, the science of spheres in the heavens. So they just say literally, hey, the sky measures like a globe and the earth is flat. And then they put that in every symbol that we talk about all the time. So maybe we should all agree on that.
Well, I think that's the saddest part, is just getting to the common ground before the debate. It's worse than pulling teeth. Getting to the common ground of like, hey, look, this stuff seems to be not mutually exclusive, where these people are so arrogant, where they're like, obviously, you idiot, 'tis globe. Don't you know? Haven't you ever heard of NASA? A little thing called NASA? And it's like, yeah, just how did you establish that belief for yourself? How did you justify that
Gotta
belief?
get the NASA app, bro.
Yeah, get the NASA app. That's how you justify a belief. And it's like, they don't want to justify it. They just want to, shut their eyes and agree that there's an authority above them who did it for them. Outsource accountability for their beliefs.
Yeah, I don't really want the truth. I just want to find out that what I already believe is great.
Well, you're basically threatening their ability to imagine the cosmos. So it's like you're taking part of their imagination away. Like all that could be, all that's potentially out there, right? Away from this shit heap we call Earth, right? You basically take away their ability to escape.
Yeah, and telling them they have a lazy mind. Saying, hey, you don't want to do a lot of thinking. You want to outsource your thinking to someone else. And that's fine by me, but if you're going to make claims in front of me, you're justifying them.
Yep. Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
you
but
know
if
how
you-
pissed I was when I found out space is fake and gay? I was mad.
But dude, if you want
I
to
was there.
control
I was there at
people,
that moment in your closet.
it's very, very much easier to get them to surrender their beliefs. They're like, oh, look, I know that it looks like it's daytime, but you're actually too dumb to determine day from night. We actually have professional day-night determiners who go to school for 4 years to determine day from night, who are professionally telling you when it's dark and when it's light. Your actual eyes can't tell you whether the sun's out. We have to get an expert to laterally interpret the sun's rays and then tell you if what you're seeing, like that's what they do, so that you surrender your actual thinking on almost every aspect, and then they soup up and tell you what up is down and down is up and shit, and then they control you.
We played a video today of the famous Stephen Hawking getting translated by a human translator while sounding like a pterodactyl. And I was like, Grok, how is this happening? And it listed like, it was like 4 pages. And it's like, it is sure in a Glober or someone like who is, accepting of those answers. I mean, they just bite it hook, line, and sinker. And it said like it had to be a graduate student with like degree. It was wild, but I'll land it.
Are you talking about Chewie and Han Solo?
Yeah.
He says the cosmos began 5 billion years ago.
And it's all fine, and relativity is actually a curved view. That's the FaceTime and Einstein Roosevelt. What? The dude grumbled and snorted. What are you talking about? Dude, that was
Dude,
genius.
I didn't believe that video existed until someone showed it to me, and I was like, oh my god, they freaking got us, dude.
And Grok even gaslit me. They're like, no, he doesn't have any human translators. And then no, later admit like it did. But yeah, sorry to interrupt like that.
No, you're good, dude. That was one of the most wildest videos ever. And it's just like, what kind of weird black magic is that, right? Like, let's put this guy who obviously, can't function without help, supervised help from a lot of different people. Why are we, prostrating him as like this genius, especially after his debilitation? You know what I mean? So weird.
Oh, I'm glad that you asked that, sir. It is because of something called agonistic buffering. And what agonistic buffering is when you put up a helpless person in front of your cause, like a Greta Thunberg or a Stephen Hawking or what's that? David Hogg, just a child, like a weak little child. You put that right in front of your movement. But if anyone criticizes your movement, you're attacking that poor little helpless, defenseless child. It is a phenomenon in nature. I'll post a video for you guys to look into it at your own.
Agonistic what?
Agonistic buffering.
Dude, it's a lot like
buffering.
taking civilians as like body shields. That's what that is. It's just like camouflaging yourself with. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's what apes do. In conflicts, apes will pull out a baby, like a little baby ape, and they'll hold it up in front of them, which reduces the aggression of other apes. It's a very well-known phenomenon.
I
How
didn't
do
know
I
there
share
was
to
a
the
term like
space?
that. I don't know, Twitter, dude.
Yeah,
Brian.
I'll figure it out.
Brian, help us. Change your photo back to Nicolas Cage.
He did.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. Did a while
Yeah,
ago.
I'm looking right at it.
Oh, I gotta refresh.
Yeah, I just shot
Oh
him a
yeah,
message.
he
I
did it.
said
My
it
boy.
feels like home. I'm all comfortable now that he did the
Yeah, and I feel much better about it. Like I knew where he is. I can find him. I know that I feel safe.
Brian's
I
about
think
to be gone in 60 seconds.
his mic even sounds better with this setup.
Did anyone get that Nicolas Cage reference? Probably not. It's okay.
I did. I overtalked you, but I got the reference.
Oh, could someone guide me on how to share something with the space? Oh, you click the little bubble at the bottom? Okay, I think I remember now.
Wait.
You mean to throw it up in the jumbo?
Yeah.
Yeah, purple pill, share it, and then the little up arrow on the far right, and then you throw it up on the space title.
What purple pill?
Bottom right on a phone that says 97.
Oh.
Biasticles, do you know how to post to the jumbo?
No. I'm on the desktop, but I got it now.
Yeah, you just post it, and then you do the little three little dots next to it, and then you hit share to space. You can only do it when you're a speaker in here, though.
Yeah, that's the trick. You have to be a speaker. So sometimes if you drop into a space and you need to, you have to remember, if you tell the people, I'm going to drop some quality stuff, especially if you say you're going to put it in the jumbo, you need to do it before you switch to listener, or you can't.
Alright, I think I shared a link to the space, but then I shared some quality stuff. Yeah, I did. But I shared a nice, good, short little video essay on agonistic buffering to answer the question of why do they do that.
All right, I'm gonna take these.
Saving that.
Sorry, we went 3 at once. And I'm gonna try again. I think I'm lagging too, but I'm gonna switch to listener, do a bunch of dishes, shower. I have a little waterproof speaker, and I've been known to listen to podcasts and spaces while getting clean, and then go to bed because I'm freaking tired. But I love y'all, and yeah, I'll catch you around the next time.
Later,
Later,
JT.
brother. Later,
Peace.
JT. Thanks for coming in, brother.
Right
Hey, thanks for hosting, man. You're probably you work harder than anyone as far as hosting spaces goes.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
All right, see ya.
I'll get back to work. Whoop-ah!
And I'm way behind on Stone videos, so I need to jump on BitChute to see what's going on because I know you've been putting in work. And it's good to hear your voice too. Later, back to work.
Yeah, you too, man.
Dude, on that note, I am super tired, so I'm gonna go to bed.
Weenies.
Yeah,
Weenie Hut Generals. All right, get some sleep, Shane.
Later, dudes.
Is
It's
there
only
another
what,
server calling our name?
11 o'clock on the East Coast or something.
Yep. But I've been up since 5, so I'm old.
Midnight here.
I've been up since about you started the space. Was it like 5 in the morning you started it about or whatever?
Yeah, I was up about 3:30, but I started about 7:30.
Jesus.
Crazy. You rock.
Yeah.
All right. Later, dudes.
Not Shane.
Later. Alan's still working on that Prezi.
Working on the Prezi.
Working on my sheet.
Sorry, what's the Prezi for, guys?
This is going to be for a debate. I forget with who.
Astronomy Live.
Who?
Yeah, Astronomy Live.
Astronomy Live. There you go on Red Rhetoric's channel there about the Battle of the Beams.
Nope. About Ares' failure.
I thought it was about the Battle of the Beams.
Not this time, bro.
Oh.
You
Well,
guys
then it's Ares' failure. Now it's really something I want to watch now.
I was going to say they should bring up the trigonometry because I know that's one of Red Rhetoric's favorite. What was it, Pizio talking about that with the Starlink?
Oh, yeah.
Or ISS.
Yeah, it's basically 1 versus 2. But it's going to be tomorrow.
What's up, Herbie?
But yeah, there's going to be a watch party in Aether, or you can watch it on YouTube. But then you wouldn't be in a cool server like Aether on Discord. Tomorrow, 8 Eastern.
So what's going on in Herbieville?
In what?
In Herbieville.
What is Herbieville?
Are you
See that guy
referring to
standing there with the
someone?
mic? His
Oh,
name is Herb.
You're just saying hi to Herbie. Okay.
I just wanted to see if he had something to say, I guess.
Oh, Herbs! I was all like, what's up, Herbal? Is he there?
Must be grabbing a Coke.
Oh, Herbal will not be grabbing a Coke, I'll tell you that. Maybe something else. Some raw honey.
That, did you?
Coke of either kind.
Does work in an herbal store, though.
That's what's up.
All right, one last little fish. Anybody who believes in the globe have any exclusive proof?
Any globies down there at all?
Anybody?
Bring out your dead.
I don't know. I don't know if any of these. Are any of you guys globies? Give me a thumbs up. Come on up. Find out why you believe me. What about that anon in there?
Brian, with your history and political views, asking people what their beliefs are and to put their hands up, I don't know if they're going to be volunteering to give that information. You rounding up the Globers, Brian? Where are your papers, Globers?
Are those Globers in the basement?
All right. Make sure to follow Brian's third account.
Did you guys ever read that diary of that book of that girl who believed in a globe and she had to live in an attic?
Man, that was amazing, wasn't it? You know what's even better than that one? There's that one where a little girl escaped from the crazy Nazis and hooked up with some wolves and became a wolf girl raised by wolves.
Oh, that was an anime. That's called Princess Mononoke.
That's what I was thinking of when he said that. Love that anime.
Nerd alert.
Nerd alert.
Nerd alert. You are more of a nerd than anybody in this room, Stone. That's why your quality of assurance.
No, that's where I draw the line. I'm not a nerd. I am a geek. Whole different animal. I
fail to see the difference.
I am awash in circuitry, ICs, and prototyping. Not quite the same as a nerd. More of a geek.
That sounds like some nerd shit, brother. Nice try.
I was just about to say that. That sounds like some nerd shit.
I guess it's only something a geek would understand the difference between.
It is nerd trying to out nerd us.
No contest. No contest at all.
Are you here, Herbal?
Yeah, mic check. Can you hear me, bro?
All right, contact.
How is my brother Brian and brother Ken? And what do we got here? Conspiracy. We got a good room here. I got Alan and Stone and TM's in the house and Corey and General and oh my gosh.
Are you wearing a wire?
Am I wearing a wire? No, brother. I am just an
abracadabra
peculiar man, and I say whatever I want, and I don't allow anybody to have any authority over me whatsoever. Because look at what's your property? Hit your chest, bro. See, hold this freaking property around. You don't own anything. You're gonna freaking leave here. The only thing you have is your temple. That's your property. Some people call it a body. Some people call it a vessel.
That's true. That shit's on loan.
That shit is real, bro. And we're all learning how to, how to get the truth in everything, right? And some things start at flat earth, some things start at, guess what? Pharmaceuticals not good for you. Oil and water don't mix. Fucking rocket science. Like, we have been so indoctrinated. Anybody who's awake today, whatever you want to call it, you should all be like very grateful that you're not a freaking NPC that you see every day, and that's no judgment, right? I'm not mad at them anymore. I'm grateful for what I know. I just really wish they'd wake up a little bit more. 100 monkey syndrome now would be nice.
I feel that. I'm not mad at people for not thinking the way I think or see the way I see anymore. It's not like it's too late for them, but that's how I feel. Or it's just like, I am not being productive at all. It's like, hey, you want to watch Love on the Spectrum? let's go right ahead, or whatever shows out there. I don't care.
Everybody walks the path, everybody's on a different point on the path. And then there's the group of people who choose never to walk the path. You cannot reach them. They're on the curve too, that old bell curve.
I used to think that NPCs are everywhere, but I don't think NPCs exist at all. I think there's people that are trapped.
Dude, I think there's so many NPCs out there, it's ridiculous. You just talk to them and you get a blank stare. And you could hear them, you just hear it like, I don't care about that. What do you mean you don't care about that? I don't get it. Whatever.
I don't know. I feel like calling another person an NPC kind of dehumanizes them.
Bro, they are a little bit dehumanized, though. If you have no connection to your original creator, your source, living Earth, knowing or unknowing, okay, you're connected to a phony ether. I can show you with frequency how they do it. It's not like I said, this is super easy. Breathe through your nose, ground, put the right shit in your body so you're alkaline. Your connection will grow phenomenal. And healthy, that's a nonsense word. It's divine wellness. Just as the day you stop.
Ugh, can't listen to that shit any longer. All right, lads. And ladettes. I'm going to wrap up for the community Twitter night. Catch you guys on the Fleazy. 1 second, got to clear my throat. All right. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be doing a little debate. Oops. With Astronomy Live. Here we go. Here's the link to that. $8 p.m. Eastern. We'll be debating the subject of Aries failure. We'll tune into that, and then we'll see you on Tuesday with something or the other, I'm sure. All right. Thanks, everyone, for the support. Much appreciated. If you would like to support the stream, what we do over here at Aether Cause, you can go to the coffee shop. The link is right here. Copy link. No, that's not the right. Hang on a second. There we go. There you go, lads. All right. Catch you on the Fleazy.